It's not. You're a little taller than me, got
Good morning. I would like to thank Principal Harris for allowing me to address you all today. Had you told me 4 months ago I would be standing in front of you offering words of encouragement, I would have said, what for? As a matter of fact, as I was asking Principal Harris, I was thinking, what the heck am I doing? But it's an absolute honor to be here, so thank you again. I happened to be sitting in the congregation one day when the preacher challenged us all to be vulnerable at times. And by that, he meant for us to get out of our comfort zone, to let down our barriers and allow others to see inside you. But he also warned us, when you do that, you open yourself up to be criticized or judged differently. Some for the better and some not. Well, today, I am feeling very vulnerable. But if my message can resonate with just one person, be it one of you graduating or a parent, then being out of my comfort zone for the next 10 minutes or so will be well worth it. My strength for being here today is through my son, Nick. Not only do I draw comfort knowing that he is at peace, but also knowing that Nick would want everyone in this room to hear what his dad, with that messed up accent, has to say. So by a show of hands, how many of you have thought about giving up or quitting school? Don't be afraid. I was there, okay? Believe me, I was there. I was in the 11th grade and really struggling in English. I hated English. It seemed like the harder I tried, the worse my grades became. We had to write an essay every week on whatever book we were reading at the time. We were probably about 8 weeks into the school year, and my best grade was a C, with several Fs thrown in for good measure. And it wasn't because I wasn't trying or not doing my homework. But as each grade came back to me, my self-esteem got lower and I felt helpless. But I had a plan. My plan was simple. At the time, I was working at McDonald's part-time, so I said, well, I'm going to work full-time at McDonald's at night, I'm going to practice and play golf during the day, and when I turn 18, I'm going to turn professional, eventually make my way to the PGA Tour and make millions of dollars. Simple, right? I had to tell my dad. Now, let me tell you a little something about my dad. He was the authoritarian type, very strict. And usually before you could get the question out of your mouth, the answer was no. I'm sure at least one person in this room knows what I'm talking about. But for whatever reason this time, he listened. He gave me things to think about. Of course, he wanted me to stay in school, but ultimately the decision was mine. My parents and I set up a meeting with the teacher, and after much deliberation, I decided to stay in school. I remember my mom telling me a short time later that it was a confidence thing for me. I had to learn to believe in myself. We all have it rooted inside us. We just have to learn how to harvest it. So yes, I graduated high school. Barely, but I graduated. To give you an idea, in Australia back then, 20% of high school seniors failed every year. I was in the bottom 25%. That one decision to stick it out has never left me. That one decision for a dad to actually listen to his son provided his son the spark to move forward. So fast forward 25 years. Knowing my struggles and knowing what a positive impact parents can make, I wrote a letter to Nick for his 13th birthday, and I'd like to share that with you. Dear Nick, happy birthday and congratulations on becoming a teenager. I am so proud of you. You have accomplished so much in your short life. I wish I could say it gets easier, but it really doesn't, which is why I decided to write this letter to you. If there was one thing I learned as a kid, It's that you can't do it. You can't do everything by yourself. And you use all the help of your friends and family to get through all the obstacles and challenges that life throws at you. Being a teenager is tough and sometimes very unfair, but you have to just deal with it and move on. Learning and listening from people who have gone through that part of their life, yes, even your parents, can help you get through these times. Looking back, I think it is the most critical time of a person's life. The teenage years, that is. Just think, over the next 6 years, you'll go through puberty, a very emotional and physical change, make decisions on what you will do in life. Career-wise, you may be making a decision at 16 or 17 that will affect your entire adult life. Take hundreds of exams, and obviously some more important than others. Decide what college to go to, where to live, what to wear, who to date or not date. Learn to drive and drive responsibly. Vote, and last but probably the toughest, decide who will be the people that most influence my life. Which leads me to the purpose of this letter. I was very fortunate growing up in that I had some fantastic, loving parents, siblings that were always supportive and still are, and friends that would come and go until I or they decided we didn't need each other anymore. However, the one person that I always turned to when I needed help the most, especially in my late teenage years, was God. Although my parents gave me the financial support to come to the US, it was God who gave me the courage. And although I was fortunate enough to go to a great high school and university and be taught by some intelligent people, it was God who gave me the wisdom and understanding. And although my career, my dreams and aspirations have changed so much in my post-teenage years, it has been God who has kept me safe, healthy, and focused. And as you know, I have not been big on going to church, but do know this: God is a big part of my life, always has, always will. My message to you as you move into the biggest chapter of your life is always put God first. Listen to Him, feel Him, trust Him. I will always be there for you too. I will be your banker, for a little while anyway, your teacher, math, not English, your hygiene assistant, you'll have to learn to shave someday, your counselor, girl issues, your principal, for when you fall out of line, but most of all, I will be a shoulder to cry on or lean on, an ear to hear you, and an eye to see you in the right direction. I love you, Dad. To tell you the truth, I'd forgotten about this letter, but in the days of Nick's passing, while going through Nick's personal belongings, Tamara and the boys came across this letter. And although you may not have received a letter like this, I know Chris and Matt never received one on their 13th birthday. I do know that every parent in this room feels exactly the same way. They are proud of you, they love you, and want nothing but the best for you. And one day, you will know how amazing that feeling is. So to all the parents in the room, a child's self-confidence and dignity is far more important than an A on an English paper, or as in my case, a C. Love them, not judge them, and watch them do great things. Seniors, go easy on us. There's no degree in parenting. And maybe if some of you were grading us now, we would have a failing grade. But remember, you will be there one day. Learn to think for yourself. Critical thinking skills are so important in today's world. Regardless of what political minds or social media may tell you, there are actually more than two trains of thought. Please don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to help someone else. Hug the ones you love and tell them you love them, because you never know when the last time will be. Be respectful, be confident in your ability, and especially do great things. So finally, I just want to leave you with an acronym to help you along the way. And it's what I refer to as the Nick principle. The N is nobody's perfect, meaning don't be so hard on yourself. The I is to inspire others. The C is to challenge yourself daily. And the K, and if you know Nick, it's to kiss and hug the ones you love. Thank you.